Oh my goodness. Hey everyone, it's Joanne Molinaro. Welcome back to another episode of In the Kitchen with the Korean Vegan. That's me. And today I'm joined by one of my favorite human beings in all of the world, Nisha over at Rainbow Plant Life. I'm sure all of you know her, and if you don't, you should know her. Make sure to check out her channel, Rainbow Plant Life, as soon as we're done with this video, because she makes the best recipes. I'm not even joking. The number of times I have referred to a Rainbow Plant Life blog post, YouTube video, or of course her cookbook, which is amazing, is really almost like innumerable. She's one of the few food bloggers that I genuinely actually love to cook from. So I'm so excited to have you here.
Sharon is always the best with like such thoughtful, generous introductions.
And truthful, very truthful. I'm very accurate about what I'm saying. If you follow the Korean Vegan newsletter or if you subscribe to the podcast, which you should, you will already know of her because I mention her all the time. I'm always referring to Rainbow Plant Life when you want really good, delicious, nutrient-packed recipes. So I'm excited to have you here. Yay. And what are we making today?
We are making dal tadka, which is a very like classic Indian recipe. Every family in India, Indian American families, we all have our own dal recipes. There's thousands of variations you can make. Today we're just gonna make a variation I really like, the dal, and then the tadka is the tempered spice oil, which we'll talk about in a bit. That goes on top and it really takes the dal to the next level.
Awesome. All right, so let's get started. What do we do first?
We have to rinse our lentils and we'll actually let them soak for 15 minutes just to soften them up so that they don't take too long to cook. And then in the meantime, we can prep everything.
Let's get a bowl here. We need 1 cup of these gorgeous yellow lentils. I've got here like half cup thingies. So let's do that. Okay, 1 cup of lentils there. And then we're just gonna go ahead and rinse these in just regular water. Okay, cool. Okay, so we've rinsed our, I'm just gonna call it mung dal. We've rinsed it and we're now soaking it in a little bit of just regular tap water.
So we're gonna start with our aromatics. Many Indian recipes start with a few aromatics: onion, ginger, garlic, and green chilies.
Okay. There we go. That's a huge onion.
Yeah. And if you go to India, really like any other country, their onions are so much smaller. So
oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
you can do a dice, like a finer chop if you want it to kind of almost melt into the background.
Ooh, do a good dice on this, not a big, okay. Oh, my eyes. All right, so we've got some onions chopped. Do you think I need more onions than this?
We can keep it that way if you want to store your onion for something else. We don't need a full large onion.
Okay. All right, so we've got our onions done. What next?
We will do some garlic. Maybe you'll do the garlic and I'll do the ginger.
Oh, perfect.
So we need 4 cloves. We need 4 garlic cloves. 4 garlic cloves.
That should be a word.
Cloves, yeah. Minced up or finely chopped, you know. So we're also gonna use some fresh ginger, an inch, which, you know, I'm not gonna get out a measuring stick for.
Yeah.
I think that's probably just like this. I don't know about you, but I don't peel my ginger. Yeah, it's edible.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, it smells intense in here already.
Okay, now it's time for a little heat.
Okay.
I like very spicy food. I feel like you don't like as spicy food.
I can handle a medium level of spice.
Okay.
I know I'm Korean and I'm supposed to be handling way more than that, but I'm also old. So.
Was young Joanne like just...
No, I was able to handle all the spices,
okay.
but now my stomach, it's like, no, Joanne.
All right, so for a lot of Indian recipes, we use fresh green chilies. If you go to an Indian grocery store, you'll get like a bunch of different varieties. At a standard grocery store, a serrano pepper is like my go-to as the standard green chili.
Just kind of like a...
like a dice or a chop is fine, yeah.
I think it's always also really pretty to have kind of that color.
The flecks of green.
Yeah.
That's really most of the prep.
Oh, wow.
No, sorry, I lied.
Okay.
Tomatoes.
Ah, tomatoes. Let's get those out.
Look at these beautiful tomatoes you got us.
So pretty. Look at these. We've got a lot of different colors represented. Is there one that we should be aiming for?
I mean, no one I know puts heirloom tomatoes in dal, so...
But these are so
They're
beautiful.
so beautiful. I'm very excited to use them. These ones feel like ripe, so I think
Perfect.
Yeah, these. If you are watching and you don't have access to good tomatoes, like you don't have to use heirloom tomatoes. You can use like Aroma or a slicing tomato. But if it's the winter and you don't think the tomatoes are really going to do much, just use canned tomatoes. 1 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Chunks of tomato in your.
Got it. Oh wow! Look at
that.
That is
So pretty.
gorgeous. Oh my god. Okay, I don't know how finely chopped I can make this, but I will try.
Okay.
We were not able to finely dice the tomatoes. I have this like wireless food processor, mini food processor, so we're gonna just try using that.
Brilliant.
Good. Is this maybe
I would
a
go
little
a
bit
little
more?
more, yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay, awesome. So we just need to do this as many times in order to achieve about 1.5 cups?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, 1.5 cups of food processed,
Or
processor,
finely
chopped tomatoes.
Or,
Yes.
or canned diced tomatoes.
Yes. Okay, so we've prepped all of our aromatics and our veggies, and it's now time to cook. So we've got here like a large saute pan, pretty deep it looks like.
Yeah, you don't need it to be that deep, but this is also fine.
Perfect.
Yep.
And then we're gonna turn our heat on to medium high, right?
Yep. We'll let that heat up for a minute, and we're gonna just do our aromatics, and then we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Add our onions, our rough chopped onions. Ooh, I love that sound.
Best one. Just gonna season with a pinch of salt. Maybe 5-7 minutes till they're softened. They don't need to like brown or anything.
Got it.
Ginger garlic.
Yay, the stuff that we minced and grated earlier. Perfect.
Serrano pepper. So now we're gonna add the rest of the spices. We're gonna add the garam masala, curry powder, and coriander.
Nice.
And the reason I'm not adding cumin, which is kind of a common ingredient,
Yeah, that's a really good question. Why?
I add cumin seeds in the tadka.
Ah,
So we'll be
okay.
covered there.
So we're just doing layer 1 of the spicing right now. So there's more spices to come.
Give that a stir, and you kind of have to act quickly so the spices don't burn.
Don't burn. That's
And ground
no problem.
spices you only want to cook for 30-ish seconds. They don't need too much longer.
Wow, okay.
Maybe 60 seconds if you've got enough oil like we do today. But I'm adding 2 cups of water. A lot of Indian families will make dal in a pressure cooker. We're doing it on the stovetop. I think a lot of people don't have a pressure cooker, but I'm starting with 2 cups of water. As I mentioned, I like it kind of creamier and thicker, but we'll add more water later because it'll.
Okay, so 2 cups of water is less than what some people use? Okay.
Yeah, so we'll probably add up to another cup of water as it cooks.
Great.
So it doesn't dry out.
Okay. And then we're just adding the soaked lentils that we soaked in the very beginning, and we drained all the excess water before we added it to this delicious situation in our pan. Wow, that already looks incredible.
Now we'll do some salt.
Okay,
I always use kosher salt, so I'm just kind of using half the amount of sea salt
no problem.
so we don't oversalt it. And we're gonna do some black pepper.
Yep.
Joanne, tell us why.
The reason we use black pepper, especially with all of these spices, is to maximize the body's ability to absorb all of the nutrients. Am I right?
Specifically for turmeric.
Yes.
It's the curcumin in the turmeric.
Exactly.
This is at a boil now, basically.
And then we just lower it to a simmer? Or?
Yeah. And we're gonna cover it.
Here we go.
Perfect.
Perfect. All right, so we do this for how long?
25-30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Kind of depends on the variety of lentil you have. So we'll check in a little bit and add more water as needed, and then we'll do
All
the
right.
next step.
Awesome. Okay, so we've been cooking this for
30 minutes.
About half hour. I think it's ready to go. Wow. Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
But now we're gonna do the tomatoes.
Yeah. Okay, so the tomatoes that we put in the food processor, just add them straight. Okay.
And that will be about 5 minutes.
Ooh, that looks good. Okay.
I'm gonna add a little more salt.
Okay. So I guess you can sort of season this to taste. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I mean, like with most foods, you should, when you have the opportunity, taste it so you can adjust it so that when you're done cooking, there's not too much
Got
to
it.
adjust. We're ready to make the tadka, which is the tempered spiced oil. My favorite part of any dal. In different languages, you might hear it referred to as vagar or chunk, which is a cute little name. And we need some neutral flavored oil. This is just, I think, vegetable oil we have today. Any neutral oil is fine. I've got my little tadka pan, which again, Indian kind of families, we keep at home to make it. Just use your smallest saucepan. I assume most of you don't have this.
No, I don't have one, but I think it is the coolest thing. I need to get one.
And the nice thing about it is because it's so small, it'll cook so quickly.
Okay.
So it'll be very quick. So I haven't measured this, but this is probably about 1.5 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons. All right, I'm gonna start with black mustard seeds. I love the pungency that these add. You can also use brown mustard seeds. These take the longest to cook, so that's why I add them first. And they're gonna start sizzling real quick. I added a teaspoon, but I also love black mustard seeds, so I'm just gonna... We're gonna add our cumin seeds now.
Wow.
We're gonna also add a little bit of hing. This is optional, but it really just rounds out the Indian flavors.
Okay.
It's not a requirement. I'm gonna lower the heat though, I don't want this to burn. And our last thing, we're gonna do fresh curry leaves. If you have dried, that's fine too. But for fresh, they're gonna pop up, so I'm gonna cover this as soon as they hit.
Okay. Woo! Oh my!
Yes. That's why I asked you for a lid.
Oh my god!
And those will be done really quickly, so yeah, I think we're almost done.
Wow, look at that. They got super green.
This is a nice kind of creamy texture for me. Again, if you like a liquidy kind of soupier texture, you could have added more water. And if you want more of a creamy consistency that's not distinct pieces, you can blend part of the dal. You can just stick your immersion blender in, run it around. You can take some dal out, blend half of it. It's kind of up to you.
Ready? Ooh.
Yes. See? A little messy.
Yeah. I think that's pretty good.
To me,
Yeah.
And again, so now it's super creamy and it's like quite thick. So now we pour the tadka on top.
Okay.
This is my favorite part.
Okay.
You kind of want to wait until the end because that's when you get the most flavor. So if you let this sit for an hour, it'll still taste delicious, but if you're making this for someone or you just want the best flavor, you want to do it right before.
Got it. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And if you don't want to add as much oil, you can like just scoop out the spices. You don't have to have all the oil.
Oh, so you can eat the curry leaves?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay.
I need salt.
Oh my gosh. That is super flavorful. Oh my goodness. I think that's perfect.
I sometimes finish with lemon juice. It's up to you if you want like a little brightness.
Okay, and then just give it a
just a little
squeeze.
squeeze, yeah. No need to like measure it, just.
Okay, and then how do we eat this? Like what do we eat it with?
Yeah, just rice, white rice.
Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. I love that you can just eat the curry leaves. I think that's like the most amazing thing.
I love them. If they're like a little chewy for you, you don't have to eat them. But I personally love them. There's so much flavor in them.
Okay, so we're just gonna garnish this now. We've added a little bit of coconut yogurt and then just some raw red onion.
Yeah, optional, you know.
I think it
Adds a
just
nice
looks
little color.
so pretty. And zip. All right, let's dig in. I'm so excited to try it.
Just like a joint bowl of dal.
Yes.
Totally normal.
This is so perfect. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
It's so cozy.
You know what? And I don't miss the sweetness at all.
Yeah.
It's really good. The tomatoes and the spices, there's just like a hint of sweetness. It's so delicious. Well, that is fantastic. And such a healthy, nutritious bowl of food.
Yep.
From, again, one of our favorite foods, the lentil. The powerful lentil. Hopefully you enjoyed our little video of making dal. If you did, first you got to check out Rainbow Plant Life. She has an amazing YouTube channel with tons of incredible recipes, which she actually writes down in a blog, which I don't do, but she does. So she's awesome. And make sure if you haven't already to subscribe to the Korean Vegan YouTube channel and like and comment on this video with whatever you think we should be making next, whether it's lentils or otherwise. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day. Bye. Bye.